Well, hello people, and welcome back to another episode of City Showcase. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we are looking at the city of Olympia by Insane Honda, a city that has been built with only 2 DLCs, so mostly vanilla assets here, and 81 tiles is the only mod. This should be one of the more interesting CS1 City showcases we submit. All the others have DLCs. Don't forget, if you want your work to feature, link to a Google form in the video description and we can have your city on the next episode of City Showcase. Otherwise, let's get stuck into this one, shall we? Very interested to see what can be done with very little DLC. So let's take in the scope of this project. The city's at 260,000 population. On hard mode, so traffic despawning is off. If we take a look at the traffic, 85% is insane. For unmodded, more than 250,000 people. Mental. That's such a high traffic flow. Like, really crazy. The submitter did not mention which DLCs they are playing with, so I guess we'll come across them. I think I can see Park Life already. There's a Park Life unit building here. Yeah, and the European street market too. So Park Life is one of them, obviously. But it's massive, and it's very well planned, isn't it? Got all the grid structure through here. Networks across the rivers all been planned in. So for no mods and essentially no DLC, this is going to be very interesting. Let's look into the field, shall we? Start in the countryside and work our way around, I think, across and back to this coastline here. So lots of field work out here. Real tasteful use of vanilla assets. Rows of trees. All placed without the line tool, which is a commandment in itself, I think. But classic demarcated tree rows, lovely vanilla detail across some nice terrain as well. I'm not sure what the map is. I don't recognize it, and they didn't mention in the submission either. But I love this change of forest. Isn't that a creative use of vanilla trees? How you just got these little taller pops of redwood in amongst the smaller brush. That's a really distinctive visual, isn't it? That reminds me of the countryside we saw quite a few episodes ago in that City Showcase now. I did say shitty showcase then. We're getting crazy frame drops here. I'm guessing that's because of the tree density. But it's worth it, isn't it? Up here we've got a little nature reserve against a graveyard. Some camping infrastructure here, a little water tower. Really nice use of a hillside there with the official runes too. And then the same up here as well. Real expanded park, some statues of Jerry Senior here, the frames are horrific. That is so many trees, that's insane. That might be the most amount of vanilla trees we've ever seen packed into one area for it to hit my frames like that. That's crazy. Absolutely wild, but a really cool hillside. And then up here, lots more of these demarcated tree fields, train lines running through the middle of them. We'll come to a first bit of civilization here as we arrive at a train station with some vanilla office towers here. There's going to be a lot of vanilla assets in this. Little industrial park this way. Pathways. Bringing people down. Oh, you've even made this out of tiles, haven't you? I was wondering what path that was. You've made it out of tiles. Very nice. Creative, that. I like that. And a little bit of township here. No historicalization, of course. You've got all the level 5 vanilla stuff. And this goes into a big old forested suburb. But it's not a suburb, it's an enormous forestry district, holy smokes. Of course, no Industries DLC, right? So this is what forestry was before the Industries DLC. As someone who's got coming on 4,000 hours in CS1 now, I can tell you how important pretty much all of the DLC is to get a proper CS experience, so this is very eye-opening. Got some nice open parking configurations against some office space. Lots of car parking here around the industry and a train station, which I'm guessing is serving all of this immense, vast forestry. Little airport out here, of course. No airports DLC, so this is what we get. But a nice little configuration of your vanilla office and commercial. Car parking out the front where appropriate. Very nice. We've even got a vanilla racetrack, which is amazing. What have you used for this? So you've used their sightseeing bus depots, aren't they? With the Park Life maintenance building. Even a little bit of, guess I'm not too sure, just general recreation space maybe. Camping grounds. In the area of what is obviously a race circuit. There we go. Le Mans. Perfect. We had another Le Mans type submission, didn't we? Some oil tanker racing going on here. That would be a fun sport, wouldn't it? There we go. But a very creative use of your assets there. Obviously, Park Life is here with the fencing and the towers. But, one of the better vanilla asset race circuits I've seen in all honesty. Changing up the lane here a bit too, I guess, to change the width of the circuit. You've even got the red and yellow barriers on the corner. Very cool. Not barriers, you know what I mean? The little curbs. That's so fun. And, like, the cockpit looks really convincing as well for vanilla assets, doesn't it? Granted, the Park Life ones aren't vanilla, but still. That's, yeah, really cool. Super creative. Little pathways up and over the highway here too. The grandstand made out of pathways. Very nice. Very nice. Isn't that cool? You'd be so creative with such little DLC, can't you? Amazing. Love that. Really fun build. Here, more car parking and office as the field joins civilization here. On the opposite side of the forestry as we join this waterway. Well, we'll head down to this big lake over here. I will see an enormous amount of vanilla oil industry over this way. Mixed with European commercial though, I have to call that one out. That's not the greatest combination I've seen. But that's very nice, isn't it? Is that all one zoning? No, 2x4. I have to remember those 2x4s are quite nice. But yeah, huge vanilla oil industrial area. More roundabout junctions here with lots of rocks in the middle leading off to train stations. For industry joins more residential in these areas. Highway and networks also snaking through here too. There's tons of little roundabouts hidden in these trees and amongst the industry. There's a lot of our vanilla residential. This is why I always historicalize, you know, the level 5 assets are so wild and quirky. Especially this one. This one in particular isn't my favourite asset in the world. But then following the waterway around the coastline, we have some highway bridges here coming over the water with a train bridge. Networks are all very nicely planned. There's not loads of network jank going on. But then lots of bridges back into and across this bit of density. Got some unique buildings in here. Industry statues, plazas. We're still on the lookout for the second DLC. We'll see if we can notice. Well, here we go, right, this is what this city is going to be full of indeed. You can see skylines of it, it's pretty much everywhere. Yeah, vanilla high density towers. It's just European and vanilla towers. But you've actually done not a bad job of using them. Of course, I'm guessing none of these are historical, are they? Yeah, nothing. Yeah, nothing's been historical here. Some nice sight lines at play and plaza work here. That's a very city skylines 2015 screenshot, that, isn't it? All those towers. It's like a trip back in time, this city. 400 hours spent on it as well, an absolute monstrous project. You've done a wonderful job of it, it's extremely well planned. Big arterial running down the coastline here with lots of waterfront residential. Park life and overgrowth and palms that play on the waterfront. Metro also cutting through here. Let's have a look at the metro station in this area. What was the ridership on this? 280 is not bad at all. See if we can see any action down at the street level. Yeah, it's not too bad. There's underground metro here as well, it would seem. What is the public transit ridership while we're talking about it? So near enough 7,000 a week. Not bad at all. Between residents and tourists, of course. Another little spot of high density commercial down the end of this arterial road. I think we're very much mimicking. There you go. Plazas and promenades. There's the second DLC. The water wall specialization is here. As are the plazas and promenades plazas. In a nice little configuration. Behind an eldercare building along the waterfront. Some double plaza action. Even little pathways linked into the back of it, expanding the walkable nodes. I like that. And then paths all in between the plazas and promenade stuff. Lots of plazas. Lots and lots of them all tucked in. Mixed with park life stuff too. So there we go. Oh, IT cluster is here as well. We are playing with more than 2 DLCs then, in that case. This is definitely IT cluster. So maybe Green Cities is also present as well then. Maybe he misspoke in the submission. Yep, definitely Green Cities is here. We have more of it up here. Yeah, super overgrown riverbanks though, around the foot of this bridge. The zoning in between the highway is another bold choice too. And we come around here, lots of big networks sweeping out as the trains form essentially like a little trumpet interchange for the train infrastructure here. Train police won't be happy with this one. They'll definitely get you for that. But we have the aquarium waterfront, right? Lots of vanilla zoning. Which, in all honesty, when you see it kind of up at this angle, you're getting lots of different asset variations here, aren't you? It is definitely mostly vanilla assets. The DLC hasn't been used tons here. Very nice arrangement with the birthday cake out the front of the aquarium. Don't mind that at all. And then this all spills down the waterfront. Big rows of density again as well. As the IT cluster specialization kicks in with the Space Launch Center, which is an interesting choice for it so close to, I guess, commercial here. But I do like this. That's very nice. We enjoy a view here if we can. Yep, there we go. That's going to be the one, isn't it? There you go. With that vanilla skyline. Isn't that glorious? Wonderful. With the train going past as well. Superb. And then we'll come down here to the metro station. And then we've got the Colossal Order offices here. Nice little vanilla plaza configuration out the front of that. And likewise with the transport tower too. Parking and picnic plazas all around that. That's very nice. Then that kind of rounds off this end of the city. He did say the city came to an abrupt halt. His PC could just no longer continue to build. So I guess we will run across some unfinished spaces where he didn't manage to finish the project. This is definitely the most unique use of the high interest tower I think we've seen. Right out on a peninsula here by itself. A little strip of commercial. Running up to it, I'm guessing we have a power plant down here. We do, which is a little combination of nuclear plant, solar as well. Plazas and car parking through here. For a massive utility district, which is sewage and water. And they are very nearly draining the water away. Although I guess that's just an endless cycle of sewage, is it? Sewage and water pumping. Purifies most of the sewage before it's pumped out. And then that's immediately, although these aren't turned on. Wonderful. So that wraps us around the edge of the map here. Let's get stuck into some of the density, shall we? I want to go... Let's go down this coastline here into this big, interesting structure. And then we'll meet in the middle of the downtown. Observatory. High and mighty above all the frame-dropping trees. Little spot of industry and commercial out here. Little park life docks out in the country. A big arterial road. Nice big important run up into the city centre here. Tons of car parking assets. You use more of these than me. Definitely. But some very nice custom park life spaces. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? We've even taken time to put in the lampposts here. Cannons by the statue of Jerry Sr. Little food tents with their own little back area catered for. That's really nice. Really cute. Great use of decals there as well. All the way through here. Carries on. All this little park detailing. Down onto a beach, which is full of nature reserve assets. Fishing cabins, kayaks. What a treat to stumble upon. Tons more prop detailing. I love that. That's really nice. Great stuff. Nice. This is a great spot for these little shelters, actually. On a beach like that, isn't it? Really nice setting. Even more custom decal work here. Kayaks and tables. Really nice beachfront. Some of the nicer use of park life I think we've seen on City Showcase so far. Even more decal and prop work there with the zoo stuff. All of this as well linking. So that path here is then I was wondering where that one was going. Amusement park, Ferris wheel on the beach. Loads of cabins. This whole thing just keeps going, doesn't it? Really nice. Tons more European. And then tons more office and commercial operations. That's a really nice use of decals with the elder care there too to open the back of it up. Very tasteful. Yeah, some really nice just general suburbia out here, isn't it? All the roads, the road hierarchy has been massively respected. You're obviously versed in planning your cities. I think he says he has about 1,400 hours in the game. So they certainly know what they're doing. Wonderful little school campus again with the path decals and the underground stations. Very cool. And there's some overgrown areas where you didn't quite want the zoning. I love seeing spaces like this taken care of. They can hurt a city so often, I think. And you have a lot of very rough edges just spilling into immediate green area. Especially without surface paint or airport aprons to play with as well. I love this, like little ramps down into the water, accessible via these insane amounts of rocks through here. There's absolutely tons of them. And all the way through here, these big towers of vanilla against more detailed and very rocky waterfront. More little spaces here with schools and metro stations tucked in. This big strip runs all the way down, doesn't it? We're starting to see some more plazas open up here. Huge park waterfronts. Definitely got your money's worth from park life, didn't you? Love this huge never-ending park that flanks the whole waterfront here. Amazing. Starting all the way down there at the beach where we just were. Very cool. Oh, even factoring in the back of the library. I love to see it. Dirt pathways. Great stuff. And some very socialist, kind of Soviet-looking housing estates here, aren't there? Did actually say the builder is from Ukraine, so we'll certainly see the Soviet tower block rows here. Definitely gives off a vibe, doesn't it? But really nice. Loads of paths in between here. Tons of little buildings packed into these spaces. Cafes, plazas, toilets, Japanese gardens. Or the tropical garden, rather. Amazing. So dense. Super dense park stuff. Then we've got this big parking configuration running all the way down to the Pearls of the East over there, which I guess you can't count as a paid DLC. It is free, that one. I guess you couldn't really count it since it's such few and very specific assets. A nice little bit of European plaza-age. Again, tons more park stuff crammed in between the buildings. Nice little school configuration, that, with the park cafe. There's a bit of a more natural end to the back of that elementary school there, doesn't it, actually? And then this comes into even more density, where we can see a school, more plaza designs at the front. This is very nice. Love the symmetry here. We come all the way down this, which is this big strip of residential. It's commercial, is it, I think? Yeah, it is commercial. Commercial office. And then a big European district kick in. There's more of them around here. Lots of unique buildings and plazas to get stuck into. You know, considering the, like, there's so, well, essentially in this screenshot, if you get rid of that Park Life Cafe, this is all vanilla. It looks very organic, doesn't it? Especially the way you've used your European zoning, which is definitely some of the harder assets to use. Sticking with them in blocks, I think, is definitely the way to go in vanilla. You got to move it and plot the grow balls, they become vastly different, because you can splice them together on corners. But when you're zoning it, you have to be very careful, but I like what we've done with it here. There's trees in the dead spaces behind them, and it's usually quite blocky, which gives you these sort of more complete looking corner units, doesn't it? Spanish are taking over. Wonderful. Really nice little European plaza district here, and it just continues all the way through. The Opera House is sat here with the London Eye and even more plaza work. I love the respecting of the sightline here, and almost central with the Opera House. It's fine though, not all my sightlines are absolutely dead on. But yeah, a really fun area. Great way to use what is mostly vanilla assets right here in this screenshot. European zoning, vanilla uniques. Inspiring for people without any DLC or very little of it. Another massive city park here, where we've got more custom decal work going on. I think I've seen you do the most vanilla decal work here on any showcase we've seen so far, especially along this waterfront. There's tons of it. It's really nice to see. Even a little key district down here as well. Look how nicely this is decorated. This is really sweet. Marinas out here, park pathways. Right, back when the game was just base game and park life. This is what it was, and there's really nice views up here to these little pops of height in the skyline. Really nice. It's like a whole throwback, this city, isn't it? A huge waterfront pathway. Going back up to a path here at the top of the park, which comes back into this area. Let's jump across the river before we carry on heading further that way. Where we'll see the Churchwick Castle with residential around it. This is definitely a bolder choice as well. We've got the tunnel that comes under here, I'm guessing, and links into that. I do like the visual of this. That's a very cool view there, isn't it? Nice bridge sightline, that one. So castle atop the hill with the market street over here. Oh, isn't that awesome? You've used a 1x1 European commercial asset in a mass repeated pattern, which has mostly come in. That almost acts like an outer wall, doesn't it, for the market street asset? I've never seen that before. Never seen that once. Well, it works. It's this repeated don't know what you'd call that. It's almost like a kind of a turret or a battlement on a castle that matches so well with the market street, doesn't it? Amazing. Even after all these episodes of City Showcase and years of my own building and watching other creators, you still see something that no one's ever done before. Sat with the statue of shopping and the sea fortress as a bit of an attraction. Also with a monkey palace in here as well. Oh no, this is the insect house, isn't it? Well, still, with insects as well. But a surprisingly looking European asset that, isn't it, actually? It doesn't clash too much at all. Very cool. Extremely creative use of very limited assets. And then, okay, I guess that tunnel goes under there as well, does it? To connect into this bit here, probably. Or that one goes to there and this one's coming to here. To create a little isolated island, which is home to a ferry port, courthouse uniques, and a whole bunch more vanilla zoning with services and parks and whatnot tucked in here. Which kind of rounds out these islands here. As we check out more insane forested hilltops. Oh, are these? They're caves, aren't they? I think. Ah. Yes, they are caves. Is it the same on that other hill? Let me just go and check. Okay, that's how you've done it. They're cave assets that are covered in trees and you've spanned them. Oh, that's what's giving it the different coloured rock as well, isn't it? Oh, that makes it even more clever, to be honest. That might be the best use of the vanilla cave asset I think we've ever seen. That's so cool. How have I never done that before? Yeah, I'm only seeing it now, right? All the rock formations, you can see the cave holes here that are just overlapped with each other time and time again. Outstanding. That actually gets a little round of applause. I didn't realise how impressive that actually was on first appearance. I thought it was just zoned trees on top of rock texture. Incredible. How cool. Amazing. Again, I've never seen that before. One of the Japanese, or at least generic Asian temples sits atop the hill with Japanese gardens and tropical gardens. Art life and factored in viewpoints as well. Isn't that a cute bit of prop detailing? Really like that. Looks out over the sea. And then I guess there's more park down here. Use one of the little keys to help make an old abandoned port here where there's a sunken ship. That's very cool. I guess what is a big camping site out here, right? Even with a little bit of green city zoning in there as well. So maybe richer homes, perhaps. And then there's Metro here, which crosses on a bridge. There's some incineration, which drops us back on those Metro density plaza areas we saw earlier. Where we can also see the Grand Library, which has quite a nice design out the front of it. Along with more Metro infrastructure. As we kind of box off this little finger of land here. Dropping back in at the head of this land, we'll stumble upon more European zoning, which dominates all of this little plaza space, isn't it? I love the Pearl of the East Shanghai Tower here. It's a real dominant bit of your skyline, isn't it? We'll get to that. More just cute, really cute prop work actually. Nice use of plazas and promenades and green cities all across the city to create these spaces. Very nice. And then here, Statue of Colossus next to ferry terminal. And this comes up back to that flight line we saw earlier, which will drop us back off in much more interesting things, including a double bridge coming by the Shanghai Tower and this little circular peninsula that comes out here. Huge arterial sight line down here as well, which we'll come to check out while we're talking about the tower. Isn't that amazing? That's got to be one of the coolest roads in the city, surely. Leading up to that. We'll get to this area though. Let's cross over the bridges beyond the towers. Stumble upon more massive, what looks like government infrastructure here, right? Or at least heavy museum vibes. Mass plazas and promenades spam here. With the bridge behind it, which is a really cool visual, isn't it? Never spammed these plazas like this before either, but you get a very, very detailed, little consistent wall-to-wall plaza space here, don't you, in vanilla? Or at least unmodded, if you like. I have to remember that one. That's a really nice combination of assets. Or asset, rather. Libraries, lots of old stone, isn't it? Tax office, oppression office. Botanical European gardens in the city centre. Elder care and plazas tucked into the spaces. There's very little room been wasted here in the city centre, hasn't there? Really fun little configurations to stumble upon. More of that custom field work out in the back here too, with a pathway coming under it. Where do you go? Back to the Grand Library over here. With that going into a little switchback system here, which heads up the hill. Up to the observation tower with a lot of office and a power station. And some more park life infrastructure, which probably has quite a nice view. Ignore the frames. Yep, there you go. That classic vanilla skyline. Doesn't that just take you all back to 2015? You just imagine the CS1 main menu theme play when you hear that, don't you? A big feature in the roundabout here, where we've got a school campus mixed with metro and parks. Definitely one of the more unique roundabouts we've seen, I think. I do like the school campus configuration here, though. That's a nice angling of the European high school with the corner of the road. I like that. I hope that was intentional. Swinging back to the plaza, we'll notice the cathedral, which has more custom work out the side of it, and we're seeing that repeated European asset come in again. Big fan of this one, aren't you? We've seen this a couple of times across the city already. But love the view of the statue of the Plaza of the Dead outside the cathedral. Very thematic. And around the back, we also have a little cemetery, a little complimentary, I guess, chapel to the cathedral, right? Like, this is you, and this is the chapel she tells you not to worry about. Nice little design, that. And over here, more parks with lots more important government-esque looking infrastructure. All the unique buildings are here. You've got all the theatre, the government offices, town hall, etc. Very nice. I will see Central Park out here too, with tons more park space. With lots more plazas, of course, in amongst all these little European streets. Which I love that you can see the Shanghai Tower from pretty much anywhere here. Nice feature, that one. It can be a hard asset to use that one as well, but I don't mind it then. I think treat it more like an observation tower, it tends to settle in more, doesn't it? Cool. Let's grab this bit on the other side of the highway, where again, just a moment to admire the road planning that's gone into this. It's all very neat, isn't it? Bridges over roads. Some pretty interesting highway interchanges as well. Got to check these out in a little bit too. Into more European zoning, we'll see this. Oh, this is crazy. Crazy bridge. The road police won't be happy with this one, I don't think. But certainly interesting to say the least, isn't it? CS2 Curators Library, centralized down this big arterial system, which is full of schools, glass rooftop plazas, residential, low-end European, with tons more parks again. Possibly the most amount of vanilla parks we've seen in any city, potentially. I love this little zig and zag in the skyline. It really breaks up the blocks, that, doesn't it? Not in the skyline, sorry, in the road network. And all this comes down. I love this detail in here. A great way to kill some dead space, maybe where you don't want zoning. Nice little European area down here. And then we'll leave this into a big old train plaza configuration. We finally see our first pedestrian road with a massive amount of walking porn. Hello, people. Oh, yes. Look at that. Look at that. Some of the best walking porn we've had on City Showcase, full stop. And with all very little DLC as well. Very busy platforms here. So this is Metro. What's the situation here? So two end of lines both meet in here, it would look like. So two end of lines meet, you've got 949 and 746. Holy smokes, look at that, it just gets better with every train fall, doesn't it? Oh, look at that. That's so many people. There's so many. That is definitely the busiest walking porn we've had on City Showcase thus far. Fantastic work. Fantastic work, Insane Honda. I love it. The rest of this train plaza is completed with a train station. That doesn't seem nearly as busy for some reason. Is this just an intercity train, maybe? Oh, it's turned off. That's why. That's why. Yeah, it's wonderful. Nice symmetry with the glass plazas. Lots of plazas and promenades work around the edge of it. And that is a really nice transit hub. Really nice. Shame the train station's turned off. Could have had it even busier. But really cool. That's a great way to generate walking action, isn't it? You could part life cheese this as well. For infinite money. That's essentially it. Super cool, my friend. I really, really like that. I love it. I love that you're forcing them on the bridge as well by not having the pedestrian connection here. Very tasty. This is backed up by more plazas and more pretty mental bridge work here. This comes back up to the European area earlier in that roundabout. More custom work with fields around some industrial zoning. And likewise here with the rows of roadie are actually very nice, aren't they? I really like this visual here. Which takes us back into the mainland over here, where we'll cross over where we saw the bridge by the Pearl of Shanghai. And discover the posh mall, with plenty of parking around it. Starting to see some more sort of like triangular angles come into the road network here. Great road planning. You can see why you have such high traffic flow, because your road hierarchy is essentially perfect. Really good work. Heading down the coastline, we'll see some more park space with redwoods. And lots more park infrastructure, lots more spammed plaza. With pedestrian key road all the way through here. More custom service work by some commercial to enjoy. Bridges, tunnels rather, going under as plazas and promenades road kit back in this big pedestrian district. With such a unique visual, isn't it, that? I've never seen the level 5 residential repeated so much in a row like that before. We're certainly seeing some unique things in this build, aren't we? I told you it would be an interesting one. The essentially very little DLC Cities 1 showcase. But the ziggurat garden on an angle with a pedestrian road, very nearly centered, we can forgive it there. Is a great idea to use the ziggurat garden, isn't it? I'd line it up with the corner of a quay on a waterfront. Very tasty. I really like that actually. Very nice. All the way through here, more zoning as the highway. It's not a highway, is it? It's just the arterial system. Through the road before we'll enjoy a park. That doesn't have elevated zoo pathway. Points deducted for that. And then this comes all the way through. Nice dense collection of the zoo assets. Very cute. Toll booth here into a tunneled arterial road that heads into a little random patch of green cities density over here, which is all pedestrianised. This is a really nice plaza configuration. You've got some really nice ideas with your kind of repeated asset plazas. This is really sweet. Very nice indeed. Again, you really got your money's worth from the park life and plazas and promenades statues, didn't you? Or plazas, rather. I've got a fun little mix of density here, out against more hugely rocked hills, which is where we started the video. The Eden project is also up here as well, which I'm guessing is just here for the buff maybe rather than a build, or maybe it ties into the Green Cities district here. Hard asset to use that one in pretty much any setting, really. Wonderful. Heading into the density here, we can already see many more plazas. We've got the Mall of Moderation, carousel parks, really like this, double back-to-back playgrounds, bouncy castles. Also got the Theatre of Wonders here, I think, isn't it? It's a really nice road play here too, isn't it? Isn't that fun? Mass repeated plazas. Tons of it. Absolute tons. Botanical gardens. Picnic plazas. All in these big European dense plaza spaces, aren't they? Yes, with so limited assets, you've managed to be quite creative with how you've managed to continually use them. This is definitely a neat visual, low density residential here. I wonder if this is maybe supposed to be repurposing an asset, because we have so many of the, well, this sort of house, the level 5 residential. Is it a little 3x3 or 2x2 one, is it, I think? It's 2x2, isn't it? Very nice. And it's so dense, isn't it? It's just, where do you go? There's just density everywhere. Incredible. Another unique building here with Science Centre. Cities 2 QR code thing as well. Some nice little designs around the back of the park maintenance building. And then all of this. Fun little interchange compact onto a corner there. Very nice, good flow in it as well. Incredibly good actually, considering you've got traffic despawning turned off here. Following the highway up to the next block, we'll see a really interesting configuration that's very tightly put together. There was a few custom placed interchanges on the asset list, so I'm not sure if these are hand-drawn or custom. I would guess this one probably looks plopped because it's so neat. It looks like it's had all the mods used to make it, but you could easily do that in vanilla, I suppose. Maybe it is vanilla actually, because this one's quite a tight segment here. Maybe it is. Hard to tell. Over here, we'll see a bridge cross over the train line, which brings us back into another bit of road symmetry, the block over from the Pearl of Shanghai. Got a very nice use of the industrial park. There's all this geometric road network snaps off either side. Very fun. Got all of this here. Big arterial systems, lots of zoning. The Opera House with more plazas even tucked in here. Really nice little custom roundabout next door to the Expo Center. Isn't that fun? Again, another great execution of the decals. Really some of the more creative uses we've seen of them. And then Expo Center on the waterfront with a very peculiar road. Where are you going? Interesting. This looks like you maybe wanted to bring it out here, but didn't factor in the collision of the quay. Super interesting road network, that one. I can envision that's what's happened there. Like, I wanted to have the bridge here, but Anarchy stopped it. But yeah, interesting configuration regardless. And then from this roundabout and the main kind of run down from the tower, we'll enjoy more sprawling density up to what is really the bulk of the density in this skyline over here. Got our shopping malls here as well. I love kind of a big box, small configuration. Like the European supermarket works very nicely for it, if not for some slightly sunken terrain out the front. More of these universities. You must have insane university capacity here. Yeah, yeah, I thought so. Low zero eligible. Has your education system collapsed here? Something's going on. Oh no, you have the unit building placed down, don't you, for max capacity? That's why. Okay, that's why. There's like 1 million university spaces. But yeah, it'll be the unit buildings that are doing that. The monuments. Lots more walking pond here at the back of some elevated and unlevel metro plazas. Another cute little combination of transport hub there. As this metro system runs to and from another high density area. Where are we here? We're coming back to this little lake over this way, where the metro crosses by an enormous office park. Another really interesting interchange. That's very compact, isn't it? Some sort of, I guess it's just a straight up stack interchange, isn't it? But in a very, very small space to get a 4-directional interchange and like that. Slip lane police would probably be a bit annoyed about some of these, but I won't tell them if you won't. And then we come back to that oil industry by the start of this, where we came into the civilization. Very cool. Our bridges are crossing under and over one another here with some very nice layering. Isn't that fun? Wonderful. And that joins back up to the roundabout high school district over there, where we saw the Creator Library. Another cake plaza here with pathways and car parking. Tons of park assets. More shopping mall configurations in the dense downtown. Libraries and hospitals also present. Before we arrive into what is essentially the cover art for City Skylines 1, when it first launched, this big glass tower vanilla high-rise. We've also got a stadium mixed into this too. Big arterial couplet road with little horseshoe turnaround U-turn things on it. Big Sydney Mall is also here with more parks around it, huge roundabouts feeding off arterial systems onto slip lanes that actually you could go onto the highway there as well. Really is just a flashback in time, isn't it? But in respect to those little spaces through here, you've got pathways linking parks together. Give you some nice sort of inner city train belt walking here. Very nice. And the skyline's tasteful. Considering it's bulk zoned without any plopping, moving or historicalization, I've certainly seen a lot worse with the same tools available, you know? It's very dense, it's very big. So look at that, just pure dense vanilla assets. So many different angles in here though. I'm not a fan of all of these assets, but you've really not done a too bad job of it here, especially with the layering between the different tiers. Super cool. All this density continues onto this Y interchange, with so many parks and plazas tucked into all the little spaces around here. Such an interesting sprawl with immense density, isn't it? And like the traffic's perfect. Like, honestly, I've seen cities that use Traffic Manager with worse traffic than this. I think that alone is one of the most impressive things about the city. Some pretty mental bridge work coming in again as we swing around this hillside of the downtown into the lower tier of it, where we can see more density here. Lots more different highway slip lanes. I'd probably say you wouldn't need the highway slip lanes here. Or we could have kept that just going straight up there. There's more of this endless tree and path and plaza density, which the city really is made up a lot of. Repeated parks and paths and designs. Quite inspiring use of plazas today I've come across. I'll definitely be doing more repeated plaza designs, I think. The art museum sits in here with so many more plazas. Absolute plaza city. Holy smokes, I wonder how many you have of them in the map. And that all surround the Gherkin, of course, from Canary Wharf. With all the zoning around it. Really fun. And then low density residential here as well. With the ferry harbour also tucked in to this little bit. We've also got 2 hydroelectric dams. Holy crap, look at that. That would really spell the end for that city, wouldn't it? We'll see if we can break those. Across the water, we have an amusement park, which is super densely packed in together. Pathways all set to the sides of the assets, so you just get that tile to path aesthetic. I think it's quite important in amusement parks that these have such an abrupt end to them, these tiles. But very nice regardless. And then this comes into big port, which we'll get around to. Let's check out the last of this stuff over here. There's a 3rd hydroelectric dam. Is that the last one? Did we get them all? I think so. Amazing. Don't you love a bit of over-engineering? 3 dams. Amazing. But all through here, we'll see more plazas work. Metro stations tucked into corners against the river before we'll see the medical centre, which is definitely a hard asset to use. There's definitely some sort of symmetry at play here though, is there? Got a lot of repeated assets in front of it, kind of the same coming off the right here as well. Definitely wonder if this area has a name, does it? If we can check it out. No, just Garnet Heights, it's a regular one. Super hard asset to use, that medical centre. It's so cyberpunky, isn't it? It doesn't look like a CS asset at all. And then this brings us back into the CS area library where we were looking at by the track and the rivers earlier on. Which drops us off at the last bit of the city, this area over here, where we saw the amusement park. And oh, there we go, the fusion plant's also here as well, so you've even got the monuments in. Possibly we've seen 4 monuments so far, haven't we? Castle, Eden Project, Medical Centre and Fusion Plant. Wild. Definitely never seen that before either. we very rarely see 1 monument in a showcase. And then little IT cluster peninsulas coming out here. It's quite extravagant, but I don't hate the visual. And then we've got some port infrastructure here. This is where vanilla really suffers. I think grass in a port is such a damaging aesthetic to the build. Airport aprons are so sorely needed as part of a free update, I think. I get why they came with the airports DLC, because they're meant for use in an airport. But yeah, a lot of grass really takes away the visual from a port, I think. Not too bad over here with the recycling centre and the tree lining. But a fun way to establish your ports though, these little kind of T peninsulas that jut out from the coastline. You could definitely run with that aesthetic, I think. Same again, over here. This one's a little bit better again with the concrete outside the front. So a surface painter would have helped, of course, if you don't have the airports DLC. More of these little business peninsulas, I suppose we can call them. Business piers. Is that what I'd call them? Possibly. And then over here, little park configurations again with lots more plazas and promenade tile work behind. I really appreciate this. The extension of the plazas with a little palm lining down to a little separate garden here. That's totally non-functional, of course, but you took the effort just to do that in vanilla. I appreciate that. There we go. There's another monument, the Hadron Collider. Also here. So pretty much all the monuments have been used. Then a fun use of the sea breakwater actually as a breakwater, which is a fun way to use that asset. And then here on the edge we have more huge amounts of level 5 residential with more extended plaza work, custom space here in the city centre. Really nice. I've thoroughly enjoyed your use of plazas and promenades and props today. Which then drops us off around more custom field work which comes into the Space Needle, which is absolutely hammering your metro system, isn't it? So yeah, we've also got that monument out as well. So pretty much all the monuments, I think. Unless we've missed the ultimate recycling center, I think you've used them all. Which honestly is a feat in itself, in what is probably one of the most unique cities we'll ever see on City Showcase. So thank you so much for sending it in, Insane Honda. I think certainly from this city you can see just how much all the DLC for Cities 1 really adds to the game. I actually have a few comments occasionally asking me to request to play purely vanilla base game, no DLC, but it's such a limited experience in the scope of the assets that you can see just how much assets you use over and over and over again. And a huge props for you for getting this far. I think the submission says he was 80% done with the city before adding a few of the DLCs, so to get to 260,000 people essentially without any DLC is really strong going. I don't think I could do that. So a huge congratulations to it. Definitely the most unique unmodded CS1 city we're ever likely to see on City Showcase anyway. Some areas of the tension have definitely had more than others, and you've done some really nice prop work, especially in the high density areas around the city centre. And your road hierarchy, for the most part, is absolutely immaculate. Really nice work, especially with traffic despawning off. Don't forget, if you want your work to feature next time, there's a link to a Google form linked in the video description. Otherwise, a massive shout out to the YouTube members and patrons that support these videos, with a roll call to our gorgeous Golden Egg patrons: Bad Wolf, Blythe, Casino, Great Z, Jamin, Libby Adlam, Michael W, Phoenix MD, and Spartan Angel. If you want to get involved in that, links down below with the Google form. Otherwise, enjoy the cinematics and I'll shut up and leave it there. Let's thank you all so much indeed for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.